And you went on. So how you were there for 27 years?
Yes.
So when did you quit the post office?
1994.
Okay, and then you still had another 10 years as a teacher in the
14 more years.
14 more years.
14 more years. Yes.
Okay, and you taught at.
Well, I first started at Franklin School,
Okay.
which is located right next to St. Michael's School. When that school closed in '76, I moved over to Bradley School. That's where I finished up my career.
What'd you teach at Bradley?
Basically math and English.
Okay.
So I taught, at one time there were 3 6th grades, so I taught all 3 6th grades, math and English, and then finally just math.
And then when did you retire from the school?
2008.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't that long ago.
No.
Okay.
No.
So why not? Okay, you worked 2 jobs for a long time. You remind me of my father. My father was a New York City police officer, and then he worked 19 jobs after he retired. And he's the chief of police. He's 70-something years old.
Right.
He's still working. Why not just? You're running for office, and
Yes.
this is not easy. It takes you away from your family. You have to endure. You have to be thick-skinned. It's not a pleasant experience from what I've seen. Why do it? Why not just kick back and enjoy the grandkids and that's that?
Well, that's not in my character. I've been in Derby all my life, and I want to see Derby move forward. And quite frankly, over the last few years, I believe that Derby has not moved the way it should have.
Okay. So let's talk about that. So
Okay,
that gets us we have a little background about who you are. We just talked about why you ran. One of the things that you've been concentrating on, or maybe it's just become an issue, quality of life and crime in this city. I'm going to ask you a tough question right off the bat. That flyer that you sent out where it said that Derby was one of Connecticut's 10 worst cities for violent crime. It turns out the information, while that statement was correct, it was from 2004, when in fact the Democrats were running the city.
It was posted in 2008. It was in 2004.
But it was in 2008.
Yes, I
citing old information.
Yes.
Was that a mistake to put that on a flyer, to put that sentence on a flyer?
Not really. No, because crime in Derby is still a problem, and we feel that it needs to be addressed.
Do you think that statement, and because what happened was the police chief then took it upon himself to kind of step up and say, well, here's what's going on, Have you talked to him since?
Well, when I showed him the flyer...
Your goal wasn't to go after
honestly,
the police department.
No, it wasn't. It's to go after crime. And to let the people in Derby know that crime is an issue in certain areas of the city, and what we propose to do is 2 items. One, bring back the Stop, Walk, and Talk program, which is a form of community policing where the policeman or policewoman would stop, talk to the neighbors, make themselves their presence felt in the area. And 2, we would like to, if possible, find grants to install cameras on city property in high crime areas.
Okay. And the high crime, I had talked about this with the mayor as well, and my full disclosure is that I live on Hawthorne, sort of near the East Street area, and my concern is just someone who lives on that road and lives in that neighborhood is that it seems like the neighborhood is sort of on a borderline of either going up or down in terms of crime and blighted properties. And I see some of my neighbors' house for sale, and I worry, okay, in this market, they might not get the asking price they want for a nice old house in Derby, and then it's rented out to, I don't know, if somebody from out of town comes in and buys the property, and you can see the neighborhood start to go down.
Right.
What do you think? What could you do in terms of, Derby has a blight ordinance. Is there anything that you want to do in terms of that type of quality of life issue?
Oh yes, we want to hold absentee landlords accountable for what goes on in their buildings. It's not acceptable to have a number of people living in there that cause problems, and it's only a small group that causes the problems in the area. Walking and talking with neighbors. In your area, there was one woman that would not allow her child to play out in the yard because of fear of crime, and that's unacceptable. And then there was another family further away that was actually selling their house because they had a break-in, their neighbor had a break-in, and they just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So we feel police presence will deter crime in that area.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you also have in some of your literature neighborhood watches and things like that.
Yeah,
you
well,
wanna...
yeah, we want to energize the neighborhood watch program. Let's get people out there.
Because there was a sign. There was literally a sign outside my house for neighborhood watch.
Yes.
But there is no neighborhood watch. It's just a sign.
We wish to re-energize that particular program.